Well, welcome into a very delayed coverage here at Darlington Raceway, the penultimate round of the first season of 2025 for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. We're currently 30 laps into a 110-lap race here tonight at the Lady in Black. Apologies for the tardiness. My name is Tommy Cook. We got Joshua Motichek alongside. We'll get you up to speed here in a moment, but the stage is complete. Dakota Floyd just got himself 10 bonus points. And Mr. Motichek, welcome in. Thank you. You have been here the whole time. I have not. Fill the folks in on what has happened here in our first 30 laps, as it looks like the stage caution is the first caution of the night.
It is actually the second caution of the night, Tommy. So right off the bat, a couple of guys getting real loose off of two on the initial start. Slosser, big noticeable one, will fall all the way to the tail and pick up a couple positions, come back up to 11th at the stage caution. Watts and Slagle got tangled together and in the wall on lap 2. They kept it straight. However, the caution will come out on lap 3 as Kerry Cleaver tags the wall and goes around collecting Zachary Grover. The restart was on lap 7. Restart order was Floyd, Lehman, Fracker, Kirk, Mitten, and Ritchie being your top 6. Pretty even and pretty calm restart. Lap 10, it's even at the front. Floyd and Lehman bumper to bumper. Kirk right behind them, all three under a blanket. Next lap, lap 11, Kirk gets into the wall pretty hard and loses a bunch of time. Goes under fire from Fracker. Lap 15, Lehman gets into the wall hard off of 2 and loses about half a second up to Floyd, collecting a little bit of damage on that very bright number 50 truck. Pretty even from there on out. Floyd relishes out a 2.5 second lead at the stage break. A couple more guys getting into the wall, but that's just Darlington.
That much, it is very much just Darlington. Thank you for that. So, if we get another opportunity here, we'll take a look at the point standings entering tonight's event. But who's to say if we will? Darlington is one of those tracks. You'll either have a lot of cautions or you won't have any cautions at all. Caution number 2. Unlike what it says there on the top here for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series at Darlington, James Lehman leading the field back to green.
Massive start for Lehman. He was able to cut Floyd in the pits. Running in too wide into turn 1 is a very sketchy place to be. Patton with a huge run underneath Fracker.
Yeah, Fracker backing up just a bit. Charlie Widener getting through there. For Howe as well as Patton going to continue his march forward with Will Kirk. Patton will take third.
Patton knows where he needs to be for points, that's for sure.
Yeah, and speaking of the points right now, James Lehman in a very interesting spot where we still don't know, and he doesn't know, doesn't seem to know whether or not he is actually going to be able to run for this championship that he entered the night as the points leader of. He's looking for his 3rd chase win in a row here this evening.
Yeah, so, Lehman bent on rails.
Yeah, the MO entering tonight when we talked to him last week was that he just wants to build himself as much of a points cushion as possible. And he has definitely done that. And now is leading back to Floyd, back to Patton, exactly how they entered the night in the points standings. Only 7 points between Lehman and Floyd. Another 3 back to Patton makes it 10 points from 1st to 3rd. And that is very, very exciting. Will Kirk riding in 4th. Charlie Widener in 5th. All 5 are in the chase in the top 5. Christopher Howell, Joshua Fracker, the first 2 on the outside looking in 6th and 7th. Greg Mull in 8th. Rob Haynes, Matt Schlosser. Good to see Schlosser here, the lone wolf on a Thursday night. Sounds like recovered from an early mistake quite nicely to get himself back up into the running inside the top 10.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, Schlosser did win the Venom Truck Series race here at Darlington in Season 9 just a few weeks ago.
You are certainly not misremembering that. Schlosser got that done. For the lights here at Darlington, riding along with Charging Charlie. Just up the road, it is Charging Scott Patton. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue as nicely. So Patton is closed up to a couple of truck lengths back to Dakota Floyd.
Yeah, Darlington, a really hard place to do some two-wide racing, but if you play your corners right, set your draft just right, you can actually make up a lot of ground down these longer straightaways.
We talk about how hard James Lehman pushes at the beginning of runs. I actually think back to the Truck 200 race here at Darlington. Lehman was an early leader, spun from the lead, and crashed out in the incident. And he has, again, pushed very hard here after taking lead under the caution for the stage break. And Dakota Floyd and Scott Patton both starting to reel him in. Now they've caught him to half a second. As Widener and Kirk dueling for fourth. This is Widener trying to take the spot away, and he's got it.
Yeah, Kirk got real sideways off of 2.
Kick by Cam with Scott Patton here as he is closing in on Floyd, who is closing in on Lehman. Hello to Robin Motichek, Lisa Carroll, Marilyn Beck hanging out with us as there's a Darlington stripe for the Gorilla Glue 57 Chevrolet Silverado. Throwing up some sparks there through turn number 2. Pat got a piece of the wall there on entry to 3.
Yeah, definitely going to need to use some of that Gorilla Glue to make it into that final race.
Hopefully he brought enough to share, because there's going to be a lot that needs to go around tonight. Get Floyd right up there to the wall, throwing sparks. Lehman able to pull back out just little by little. For the back, Joshua Fracker, looks like he just had a moment. Greg Mall and Matt Schlosser both getting past. Fracker back to 10, Mall up to 8, and Schlosser up to 9.
One curious thing to note, only 11 drivers set qualifying laps.
That is very curious.
Definitely some people, I don't even know what the strategy would be for that.
You know, some of the fast guys don't do it. But, I mean, if it's everybody, then I'm not sure. Very strange, very strange. That's just the effect that Darlington has on people, I think.
Definitely had that intimidation factor on me when I first signed up for it.
Problems for Zachary Gruber, who got the lucky dog under the most recent caution. So that will only give us 18 drivers out on the track. If I'm not mistaken, we started with 25. That is not very many drivers left running at this stage in the race, even for Darlington.
Yeah, definitely weeding thin on the field here tonight quick.
Oh, problems for Will Kirk. Looks like he might have caught the wall out of 2, and Christopher Howell is there to capitalize quickly. Howell up to P5. Kirk back to 6 now with Rob Haynes looming right behind.
Howell will be up 8 positions with that move completed.
Haynes gonna have a go. Right to that left rear quarter, and not gonna stick.
Yeah, running that top line through 3 and 4, you get such a big run coming off the corner. You can stay alongside, you can usually pull out ahead by the time you get to 1. Pretty squared even for the top 3. Floyd is inching that gap to the lead, shorter and shorter as Lehman scrapes the wall hard there.
That was a big wall up there through here comes Floyd. He is right on the attack. Lehman moving down just a bit to defend that bottom, wherever you define the bottom here at Darlington, that is. Lehman trying to protect it. Rob Haynes just got through on Will Kirk for 6th. Got back faded to about 0.8 of a second back. Now Floyd, right where you don't want to be, stuck in the dirty air. He'll be hoping for a big run here out of 2, and he's got it. He'll have another go to the inside of turn number 3 for the lead. They are wheel to wheel.
Tight quarters through 3 and 4.
Just a Scotia contact there.
Neck and neck across the line. It is still Lehman.
Oh.
Lehman in the wall.
Floyd checked up hard because he knew he was going to move up the track and probably make contact there with Lehman, but Lehman, I think, was adjusting for Floyd and put himself in the wall. And it all came out in the wash.
The more these two battle, the closer that 46 truck gets.
Back to half a second now.
Lehman in the wall again. Floyd gonna look. Stays behind.
And you know, Charlie Widener is not too far behind either. He's only a 2.5 seconds. Back there in 4th, who's to say you can't have a go at this. We'll see how this continues to shake out.
Front of the field slowly coming back together.
Whoa, Greg Mall all the way down to the inside wall as Will Kirk got up into the outside wall. Justin Ritchie had to scramble to avoid. Matt Schlosser now through on Will Kirk. Kirk is back into the wall. Back up front, Floyd with a run on Lehman, but can't take it anywhere. Wild stuff there for Will Kirk.
Once you get that wall, it likes to keep you there.
Yeah.
Look to the inside for Floyd into 3. Once again, super tight quarters. Lehman looking to hold the outside to get that run.
Oh, man. We've seen it go bottoms up there as Matt Schlosser is coming down pit road.
Tight quarters, still side by side.
A little wiggle up into Lehman's left door. More than a little wiggle there. More contact.
Lehman able to keep the spot.
Somehow. Not just keep the spot, but keep the truck under it.
Enticing Patton now to 0.3 of a second from the lead. Charlie Widener back and forth, has that gap down to a second as well.
Schlosser is away. Seems a bit early for a pit stop, so maybe more of a puzzle piece to what happened to Will Kirk there. Here's Floyd again. Down low. Across halfway. This time, can Floyd make the pass for the lead stick? He might have some room to operate into turn number 1. Up the track. Lehman has a go here to the inside, but Floyd will have this topside momentum. And your stage winner has reclaimed the top spot. Dakota Floyd back on point.
Yeah, Lehman with that little bit of upset, having to check up now on the fire from Patton.
Lehman again.
Right up against the wall.
Oh, got it there.
Oh!
And Patton will have a looky-loo here into 1. And Charlie Widener is here.
Charging Charlie has come to play.
Well, Kirk may have called it a race. He has jumped back to the pits. We're still under green.
Field getting stretched out now.
Riding with Scott Patton. You can still see some drivers there in the distance behind, but hard to see anything with Charlie Widener less than a truck length behind.
Oh, man.
Nathan Carroll is coming down pit road.
Oh, man. Big moment for Schlosser. Trying to come through on faster tires and locks him up into 3.
Oh, as James Lehman, that truck nearly came around on him. He is struggling, and Patton is going to take advantage. Patton is through to second with a slider, but up into the wall. Lehman looking to cross over.
Oh, Lehman got down on that stripe. Charlie Widener looking to take advantage into 1 now.
Yeah, Widener licking his chops if he can keep himself out of the trouble here. He's looking primed to pick up a couple spots. Widener to the outside of Lehman. Pumps the brakes there as Lehman is looking so loose. Widener is through to third.
Yeah, can't help but wonder if maybe Lehman has just a little bit of right side damage after slapping the wall so many times.
Oh, most certainly. And look at this, Christopher Howell, Justin Ritchie, they are close here. They're closed right up. Greg Mall not too far behind either. So Patton now with his sights set forward, maybe 2.9 seconds up to Dakota Floyd.
Oh,
as Lehman, wow. Goodness me. Let's watch the hands here. On board with Lehman. The racing line here is so weird. I mean, you can see how much counter steer he's putting into that. Shifting in 3 and 4. Whoa. That thing looks evil.
That is a very loose truck, not one I want to play with.
No, I like a loose truck, but you can hold off on that. I'm good. So one thing we have not talked about at all is these drivers were down pit road on lap 30. When are pit stops? What is our fuel window here? But are you even looking at the fuel window? Or are you more looking for tires?
I am, at this point, 100% looking at tires. I mean, fuel is what it is. As long as you can make it to the end, it's all going to be down to the tires and how fast you can push them.
Well, I know one thing. If James Lehman doesn't have to, he is looking not at the fuel number, but at the tires, as Charlie Widener is going to have a go here down low on Patton. as they are packed up behind Lehman.
Yeah, that's Matt Schlosser coming through on those fresher tires.
Greg Mall was in that grouping behind Lehman, but he comes down pit road. So this might send a bit of a shockwave forward and start to trigger the domino effect here, bringing in the drivers from the top 5 to try and cover off Greg Mall. .3 seconds between Floyd and Patton, as Patton has had his hands full with Charlie Widener.
One of the most difficult things about running here at Darlington is if you got a truck on you, it's so difficult to shake them out of that draft. It's just so powerful down the backstretch, especially with that run off of 2.
63 truck of Nathan Carroll going to factor into this side-by-side, door-to-door battle between Howell and Lehman as they both make contact with one another. Carroll on much fresher tires. As there's Brad Slagle in the chat. Yeah, this is a feast or famine kind of track, that is for sure. I'm there with you, though. I cannot drive this place to save my life.
Man, we always talk about the late run, but, I mean, Dakota Floyd is just eating the clean air up here out front.
Most certainly. Howell lets Carroll through. Jack Watts is on and off pit road. As Justin Ritchie, now podium finisher from last week, going to have a go on Howell for 5th. They continue on here, even into 1. Trent Drum coming down pit road.
Get the call from Lehman. He is coming down pit road this time.
And Dakota Floyd is as well from the lead.
Way sideways. Widener also in.
May have to check for penalties on those. Lehman looked a little hot. Not the hottest I've ever seen. But 3 of your top 4 down pit road. Patton the leader.
Patton coming in now.
And Justin Ritchie is coming in as well. But Patton going 1 lap long. Compared to the other drivers he's going to battle for podium positions with. 3 of whom he is battling for a championship with. Christopher Howell still on track, the race leader. Very interesting. Matt Schlosser, as of now, is the driver who will cycle out to the lead. We'll see if that holds up.
Christopher Howell down pit road now.
And Schlosser is, in fact, still out and in front of everybody except for Christopher Howell. Greg Mall is through on everybody. And there goes Dakota Floyd as Scott Patton is exiting pit road. Charlie Widener will go by Scott Patton here from the looks of it. And then again, maybe not. And Patton's going to put up one heck of a fight. Nope, never mind. Widener is through.
Definitely treating those cold tires with respect.
Yeah, and that is especially here. There's some ovals you can get away with blistering them, but not here. So Dakota Floyd is 11 seconds behind Matt Schlosser. He'll also have to get through Greg Mall. Mall on much fresher tires than Schlosser. Of course, Floyd on fresher tires than both of them.
Yeah, so interested to see what Schlosser's pit strategy is going to pan out to.
Oh, James Lehman is back down pit road, wondering if he did not get a penalty the first time around. And that is effectively race over, and the chance for a three-peat is in the books without some sort of race control, caution, interference. I should say automated race control to that as well. Couple drivers will be fighting to get back on the lead lap around Matt Schlosser, and it will be Rod Mitten making a pass. Billy Bumgardner next up, then Nathan Carroll behind him. We'll go back to Charlie Widener riding in fourth with Scott Patton all over him. Patton looking low. Low is tough sledding into turn one. We got the 14 of Trent Drum now in front, throwing a little dirty air Charlie Widener's way. And Drum will move to the bottom of the track and let him through.
Yeah, so definitely looking like a speeding penalty for Lehman, still on pit road in his box.
Yeah. That's a bummer. Patton had a big run, elected not to take it into three. Still tucked in right behind Charlie Widener.
Here comes Schlosser back down pit road.
So the leader for now is Greg Mall. But Dakota Floyd is right behind him.
Yeah, so Mall on about 5 lap older tires than Floyd. The two of them are sitting just under 6 seconds up the road from the Patton-Widener battle.
Trent Drum just jumped into the pits. As soon as Floyd makes this pass happen, assuming he does make it happen, we'll take a look at the pass Patton just made on Charlie Widener to reclaim third. Here's Floyd looking low. And Floyd is back to the lead.
So definitely a very, very good news for Floyd.
Oh, and Widener just rolled out of it. That's why it happened so suddenly. Patton looked out to make a move, and Widener essentially let him through. So for Scott Patton, he's got about 5 1/4 seconds up to Dakota Floyd. Floyd has managed to balloon this gap up quite nicely. He's having a great run.
Yeah, Floyd definitely in the cat seat now that Lehman has had issues.
Justin Ritchie, Rob Haynes, close together here for a spot in the top 5. Ritchie has the spot, 199 of Haynes. Pursuing. Nathan Carroll coming back down pit road. Couple of drivers off sequence. He and Matt Schlosser both. If you want to lump Greg Ball into that mix as well. He's the first kind of regular driver to come down pit road. Open the regular scheduled stops anyway.
Yeah, Greg Mall is usually one that we see off sequence, so definitely no surprise. Definitely anticipating a podium finish here.
Greg Mall last time by ran a 30.68 versus Scott Patton's 30.03. So Patton is closing. He's got about 2.25 seconds to go to catch up to Mall. And Patton a little bit quicker the last couple times than Dakota Floyd, but the gap still stands at about 5 seconds. So Patton with a lot more work to do. Back to Ritchie and Haynes. Haynes is in a good groove here. He's looking around on the McLaren Raptor 00. Ritchie washes it up the track from the apron to the wall.
Oh, man.
Haynes hanging it out.
Haynes is definitely pushing every ounce out of those tires.
They've got Matt Schlosser coming up again on fresh tires. So he will play a factor in this. Scott Patton nearing Greg Mall. We'll have that battle here in a couple of laps, I'm sure. As Haynes up into the wall. Schlosser coming through on the fresher tires. And we'll jump up now to Mall, Patton, and Charlie Widener, all pretty close to one another, but it is Patton advancing quickly here on Greg Mall for P2 with 21 laps to go. Dakota Floyd already had started to open this gap back up. It's 5.5 seconds, and now Patton will have to dispatch with Greg Mall pretty quickly here and throw down some pretty sporty laps to find his way back to the front of this field.
Oh, Mall a little free off the corner. That's going to give Patton the run on the top, and Mall will yield the corner. Patton now with free air all the way up to Dakota Floyd.
And he will need it. Widener will try to get through here on Mall. Haynes and Ritchie side by side. Ritchie tags the wall. Christopher Howell is going to come in from out of nowhere and factor in. He will take spot number 6 away from Justin Ritchie. Howell absolutely blitzed his way into this battle.
Howell, one of the last drivers to come down pit road on the pit cycle, so no shocker that he makes fast work of these older tires.
And speaking of fast work, Charlie Widener is through on Greg Mall, and Howell is through on Rob Haynes. Howell is 6.25 seconds up the road to Greg Mall with 18 to go. Considering the tire life differential between the two drivers, very well may see this 88 passing the 7 as Justin Ritchie just cracked the wall in turn number 3. Big old shot. And this is about the closest duo we've got on track for position. Haynes did all that work to take the 5th spot away from Justin Ritchie, and Christopher Howell came and undid it and 1 lap. Patton 1 second clear of Charlie Widener. That gap up to Dakota Floyd is not shrinking. It's up to 5.8 seconds. Floyd on cruise control, just hoping that yellow laundry stays put away. Because I'll say this much, if the caution comes out, all bets are off, and it's going to get wild quickly.
Absolutely. Caution comes right now. Billy Bumgarner will be the lucky dog.
Joshua Fracker with a move on Justin Ritchie to take 7th. Ritchie falling back here pretty quickly, I would imagine, with some damage to this 0-0. And with that, there are no drivers within 1 second of one another. Fracker's going to try and change that as he tries to reel in Rob Haynes here with 13 to go. So now he is inside of the second, looking for 6th. Again, that Schlosser a lap down, but on the fresher tires. And here comes Justin Ritchie. And he flies it on. I'm sure he's probably just going to call it a night. Yeah. Frustrated.
I do not blame him.
No.
At this track.
Fracker closing quickly here on Haynes for 6th. You always think your car is undrivable with the setup that it's got, or with slight damage on one of the corners, and then you hit the wall again, or you hit the wall for the first time, and you're like, oh, this is literally not drivable. I'm sure that was what just happened there.
Yeah, then you have the occasional time where you slap it just right and it makes it better.
That is once in a blue moon's blue moon. But it is nice whenever you can get that.
Patton still sitting about a second ahead of Widener in second. Floyd still holding this 5-second lead.
Yeah, Widener is inching his way forward. He's back to inside of 1 second here to Scott Patton. Fracker's charge up to Rob Haynes is stalled out a bit. Really, there are only 13, I guess make it 14 drivers with Brad Slagle back out on track that are actually running in this race currently. Darlington has taken its toll this evening.
Yeah, and out of those drivers, only 9 of them are sitting on the lead lap.
Fracker has had to let Matt Schlosser and Nathan Carroll through. But Carroll disrupting Rob Haynes might send the 199 back Fracker's way with 8 to go.
Yeah, Fracker can catch that draft. He's in the golden zone. He's definitely close enough to do it.
Oh!
They both get into the wall there.
That was a big thunk for the 56 of Fracker.
Yeah, that was more than just a quarter panel tap, that's for sure.
Well, Bailey says I'm late to the party, and all I have to say to that is join the club. Oh, boy. 7 laps to go. 6.5 second lead for Dakota Floyd. Patton pulling away from Widener. And now Christopher Howell has caught Greg Mall, who has got to be just hanging on at this point. He's got the oldest tires left out on the track. James Lehman says, I hate this track. Seems to be a common theme here. As somebody just went all the way to the inside wall as Howell is through on Greg Mall.
I think that was Brad Slagle moving out of the way for Nathan Carroll to come through.
Well, he certainly moved out of the way. 5 to go. Can Christopher Howell catch Charlie Wyden? With 4 laps to go, he's just inside of 3 seconds ahead. He's outpacing him by about half a second a lap. He's going to need some help from Widener, but it's not impossible. Greg Mall is giving up. He's coming down pit road. I would have thrown in the towel a long time ago.
Last time around, Howell only 0.2 or so faster than Widener.
That's not enough. Dakota Floyd just wants to see this white flag. To the stripe. It's official. 1 to go. What is going to be end up being a dominant race for Dakota Floyd if he could bring it home in the next half a lap. The stage winner and now the race winner for the 4th time this season, the penultimate round of the championship at Darlington goes to Dakota Floyd. Patton in second. Widener will hang on for third. Christopher Howell in fourth, and this is the battle for fifth at the line. Give it to Rob Haynes. Fracker caught him, but needed another lap to get her done. But here is the man that will burn it down for the 4th time in his first season with the MaxV CNC Home Designs Truck Series, Dakota Floyd. Adds Darlington to his already impressive resume. He does it in pretty convincing fashion. James Lehman led quite a few laps here tonight, a few different leaders under the pit cycle, but for the most part, this was Floyd's night here at Darlington. And as we rolled in here late, we don't have some of the bells and whistles ready to go. I think we're going to do what some of the kids call raw dogging it, and we're going to go without music. No, that's not what all the kids... Anyway, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The full finishing rundown is about to hit the screens. And there it is. Floyd with the win. Patton in second. Widener in third. We'll talk to these 3 guys here in just a second. Christopher Howell in fourth. Rob Haynes in fifth. Joshua Fracker, nice run tonight in P6. Brandon Groover in spot number 7. Jack Watts, Rod Mitten, and Billy Bumgardner will hang on for a top 10. 11th for Matt Schlosser, Greg Mull. In 12th, Nathan Carroll. And 13th, Brad Slagle. The last driver to finish the race tonight in the 14th position. It is 15th for Justin Ritchie, Trent Drummond 16th, James Lehman, Will Kirk, Zachary Groover, and Chris Braley in 20th. A bit mixed up here further down is these drivers had already retired from the race by the time I got in here, so not sure if this is actually where they finished or not. But Heath Smith, Tyler Hessling, Michael Vann, Kerry Cleaver, and Matt Rodolasso is the finishing order that I have from 21st on down. So we'll roll with that. But in the meantime, it is time to talk to your podium finishers here. And as soon as I get my bearings on where we are, we could pull in Charge and Charlie Widener, your third-place finisher. Great to have a podium interview back again with driver 95. Welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've been up here.
Been a little bit, but certainly you had yourself a great run here tonight. Very good pace, and certainly scrapping away with Patton there for the majority of this race.
Yeah, if I ever figure out how to save tires, I'll be dangerous.
I mean, this is a tough place to do that with the weird lines that you have to take, very unforgiving, shortened, or I guess not very wide corners here. I mean, this is a very enigmatic track to try and figure out, let alone to try and save tires on.
Yeah, mainly I was just focusing on trying not to hit the wall out of the turns, especially turn 4. And you're right. You got to hit a certain line just right, or if you miss it, you got to figure out how to adjust it because you want to get a good run off. I made up a lot of my spots on those restarts in the beginning. Got me up towards the front and just tried to keep it there. And this track, we have a love-hate relationship, but tonight she's pretty good to me.
Dancing with the lady in black. Joshua, what you got?
Man, congrats on the podium and being up here with us. I mean, just talk us through, like, I know just how treacherous this track is to even attempt to think about going side by side with somebody, nonetheless, being bunched up on a start or a restart. But, I mean, just talk us through your thought process as you're, rolling around and coming to the green.
Yeah, you just want to get a good jump. Try to get it as soon as the green comes out, because usually these guys are pretty good. If they are falling back or you have the jump on them, they'll let you have it going into 1. But sometimes that's not the case, and it's like a game of chicken. Who's gonna let off first? And then if neither one of you do, then once you enter the turn, you gotta figure out how you're gonna exit real quick. So it's just it's just fly by the seat of your pants adjustments in the car. But yeah, those restarts, they're kind of tricky side by side going into 1 because you can go into 1 side by side, but coming off is a different story.
Well, good stuff here tonight, partner. Congrats on another podium for you, and let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, you guys, awesome broadcast. James Lehman and everyone involved in Max Velocity. My 2 teammates, Mike Milfelt, had other engagements to go to today, and Heath is having some PC issues, but he stuck around and talked my ear off while I was racing around there. So I'm glad I could get a podium for the team, and yeah, that's it.
We'll look forward to one more here in a couple of weeks, but go celebrate this one here tonight.
Thank you.
And we will talk to the driver that will leave the night runner-up in the point standings, and he will finish P2 in the finishing order as well. It is Scott Patton back in booth 200 with us. Welcome back, and congrats on a good run here tonight.
Appreciate it. I don't know if anybody remembers who finishes P2, so we'll make them remember. This will be the first race that somebody remembers. It was Scott Patton in the 46 Silverado that finished second at a random Darlington race.
We'll put that one down for sure. We'll see if it sticks. But, I mean, I'm not sure what else could have happened here tonight. Dakota Floyd just seemed to be on rails up front. You were having to scrap away with Charlie Widener, with James Lehman. I mean, you had your hands full battling most of this race.
Yeah, we had to scrap the whole first stage there. Obviously, we took our EOL from our mistake last week, so we paid the penalty for that. I was happy we got through the field with no damage and minimal tire wear, I guess. But yeah, it was kind of right where I wanted to be at the stage. I think sitting seventh or so, and then we came out fifth after the stage pits for having the pole selection on pit road. That first stall helps. So kind of right where I wanted to be, but man, I wish there was a way to sugarcoat it, but Dakota just drove us all away. So he did a whale of a job. Then the green flag stops. I think he short pitted us by 2 laps or so, at least one, if not 2 laps. Um, so I was kind of sitting back thinking that I would use that to my advantage and then kind of collect, knowing that I could be maybe faster than him on the entire second run, knowing that we had 2 lap fresher tires the whole time. But he changed my mind on that and just continued to drive away. It stretched a 3-second gap to a 5-second gap coming off pit road, and then stretched that 5 seconds to 7, 8 seconds, whatever it ended up being in the end. So hats off to him for sure. There's no way I can hide that one. But yeah, proud of second place anyway, going to the title fight next week.
Joshua, what you got?
Hey, congrats on the P2. Always fun when you do come through the field watching just the absolute craftsmanship that you have. Posed the same question to Charlie Widener. I mean, this track is so tight and just so unique in the way you have to drive it that it makes 2 wide driving just super tricky. I mean, talk us through that thought process as you're coming to these starts and restarts towards the midfield and what it takes to get through it cleanly.
Yeah, it's a balancing act for sure. It's kind of like you have 2 birds on your shoulder. One bird is saying, throw it in there, get the spot now on the restart while you can. And the other one is saying, now is not the time, be patient, because if you overdrive it, you're going to slide up into everybody. And so you've heard it before that this is one of those tracks probably on top of the tour that they say you got to race the racetrack, not the drivers. So on one hand, you're thinking race the drivers, go get the spots. And on the other hand, it's saying race the racetrack, don't make a silly mistake and take yourself out of contention on your own. So yeah, super hard balance. And even when you're making those decisions, I did a huge slide job on James. I think
Yeah.
I got to go chat with him about that one. But that was one of those where the driver birdie won and said, go take it while you can. He slipped up a little bit off of turn 2, I think it was. And I had the better part of a truck length on him on the backstretch. And I decided to just throw it in there. But yeah, moves like that can easily not work either. If you don't clear them by 3 inches, you're going to be left reared into the outside wall just before you know it, sitting on pit road. So yeah, it's a tough decision for sure.
Speaking of the championship battle, I'm showing that the gap between you and Dakota Floyd right now is 11 points to the good for Dakota. Entering Auto Club Speedway, though, a track that you've won at on the channel before, and its sort of sister track, Michigan. You won at Michigan a few weeks ago as well. So, I mean, if there's any track I think that you could pull it off other than maybe New Hampshire, Auto Club seems to be about as good of a shot for you.
Yeah, I think so. I would say my only concern with that is it's kind of a drafty track, much like Michigan is. So I don't think it's going to take much for Dakota to stay in that top 5 conservatively, and race us and outpoint us with those 11 points I think we have going into next week. Or that he has on us. So yeah, I think what you're going to see from this 46 Silverado next week is just a points grab, pole position if we can get it, stage points, leading the most laps, leading a lap, every point we can grab a hold of. Because I think if we can pull all that off, we're at least going to make it interesting and make Dakota have to work for it. That's the goal.
Well, we're excited to find out how it all shakes out. Thanks for the time here tonight. Congrats on the P2. It's one that the folks won't forget, and we'll let you get the shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, just all you guys at Turn 200. Appreciate that. Looking forward to the finale next week at Auto Club for sure in the broadcast. And just the New England Racing Museum up here at the Northeast at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway property grounds. We got them on the front of the truck. And what do we got? Stone River Outfitters on the back. And I think that's about all we got for shout-outs. Maybe the guys at Bandit for sure for helping us out. And I think we're going to lean on them as much as we can to get every advantage we can going into next week.
Well, we'll look forward to talking to you again at Auto Club. But thanks for the time here tonight. Congrats on the runner-up.
Thank you, Tommy. Thanks, Josh.
And in for our race winner now. It is Dakota Floyd for the fourth time this season on the top step, and Dakota takes Darlington here tonight. Welcome back to the booth, partner. Congrats on the win.
Thank you so much, guys.
Well, you certainly had something figured out here tonight in a night where most people did not have anything figured out. This is a tough egg to crack, and you were making omelets.
Yeah, Darlington is probably the hardest track on the schedule, and if you don't figure it out, it'll eat you alive. And yeah, like you said, thankfully, I kind of just figured out to wrap the bottom of 3 and 4 and just nice and easy entry into turn 1, get it up to the wall, and then find my lift point. And luckily, the truck stayed consistent through the whole run, so I was able to just rely on those markers the whole night.
Joshua, what you got for the race winner?
Man, congrats on the win. I mean, we always say it. You're a late stage driver more than the short run, like someone like James Lehman would be. I mean, what is it that makes your driving style just work with these long runs and lets you just walk away sometimes?
I think it's just a lot of times taking the first 10 laps of the run and just kind of figuring out what the truck's doing. Just kind of ease into it. No sense in forcing any kind of movement from the truck, rotation of any kind. Just kind of let the truck do its own thing, and then just build up from there. So if it's building tight or loose, just make the adjustments accordingly.
Now we'll flip the last question back to you. It is an 11-point advantage seemingly your way entering Auto Club here in a couple of weeks for the championship. Scott Patton won at Michigan a few weeks ago, but as funny enough, Scott Patton says nobody ever remembers who finishes second. Dakota Floyd, you finished second at Michigan a few weeks ago too, Scott Patton. I mean, it's fairly close in the point standings. But it's going to come down to a classic on-track battle between you and Scott Patton once again to settle this.
Yeah, I absolutely think so. And, 11 points can disappear at the drop of a hat at any point, especially at a track like Auto Club. So I just got to keep the truck clean and when we go to Auto Club and make sure he doesn't outfinish me in the stage too poorly. And I just kind of stick close to him and make sure that just to manage the point gap. I think that's just really what in a couple of weeks' time is going to be all about.
Well, we're looking forward to the prize fight in Fontana here in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks for the time here tonight. Congrats on the victory, and we'll let you get some shout-outs in from the top step before we let you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to shout out the teammate, Richie. I know he got into some unfortunate circumstances there. I hate to see that for him. He was making up to a lot of pace there at the end of the race, so I know he'll come back stronger than ever for Auto Club to finish the season out. And Riley couldn't be here; he had other stuff going on. So shout out to those guys for coming in and running for the rest of the season with me. And thanks to everybody in the league. Have such long green flag runs at Darlington is amazing. So really shout out to everybody in the field. Everyone raced pretty respectful and super clean. Gave lots of space, especially the lap cars. So I really can't appreciate that enough from those guys. And thank you guys in the broadcast booth for everything you guys do. Always put on a phenomenal show to go back and watch. And thank you to all the sponsors and everyone that supports me every week.
Thank you for the time here tonight, partner. Congrats on the win. Go celebrate, and we'll hope to talk to you once again at Auto Club.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night.
And again, apologies to everybody for the abbreviated coverage here tonight, but at least got the final stage in, missed the first 30 laps of the race, rather. But what a night here tonight in Darlington. Only 2 cautions, one of them for the stage, one of them for incident. But even with that, Darlington still took its toll. This field was ravaged when it was all said and done, not only by the lady in black herself, but also by Dakota Floyd.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know how this track is. I've driven it. It takes just an absolute behemoth of a driver to do what Floyd and Patton and Widener did, to be up there on the podium and be as consistent as they were. I mean, we saw even just amazing drivers like Lehman just struggling with getting into the wall. I mean, it's definitely a lot like we heard earlier in the interviews. You got to race the track and not race the other drivers.
Well, we'll be looking forward to a bunch of folks racing the other drivers here in a couple weeks' time when the MaxV CNC Home Designs Truck Series Championship race takes place. Again, we've got an off week coming up here So that will be July 10th. July 10th is when the champion will be crowned for the first season of 2025. And all indications are that it will be a first-time series champion. Looking at the point standings, again, it is Dakota Floyd with an 11-marker lead over Scott Patton. James Lehman is only 13 points behind, but again, still not certain if he will be able to actually race in 2 weeks' time or not. 43 points to Rod Minton in fourth. I think mathematically still has a shot, but realistically will be out of title contention for driver 92. So looks like it will be Floyd v. Patton with Lehman maybe suspended above the ring, ready to jump in action. We'll have to see. But that is how things stand. Again, 2 weeks' time for Auto Club for the championship race of the first season of the Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series. In the meantime, we've only got one stream for you next week. Matt Williamson will have Monday night's coverage of the Go Squadron Formula Super Series. It will be live from Imola Raceway at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. You could catch us there next Monday night. And I in particular am going to enjoy a week off here. So thanks to everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. Thanks to the Moticheks, as always. Thanks to James Lehman. Thanks to Lisa Carroll. Thanks to Marilyn Beck. And thank you to Brad Slagle as well. Thank you to CNC Home Designs for their continued support of the Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series. If you need a home built in Central Florida, hit up Devin Carey Cleaver, and they've got you covered. That's all we got for you tonight on behalf of Mr. Joshua Motichek. Until we meet again, I'm Tommy Cook, saying so long and congratulations to Dakota Floyd, your winner tonight at Darlington. Have a good night, everybody.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.